They laughed at your pain, found amusement in your struggle, used your suffering as their entertainment every time you fell, every setback, every failure. It was a spectacle to them. They fed on it, turned it into something to mock, something to ridicule. They didn't see the fire in your eyes, the strength in your spirit. All they saw was the cracks in your armor. They thought they could break you. They believed that your pain would be your end, that the wounds they inflicted with their laughter would never heal. They didn't realize they were only making you stronger. They didn't realize that in their cruelty, they were planting the seeds of your power. They laughed at your pain, and with every mocking word they spoke, they pushed you to become something they could never understand. They fed the beast inside you, and now they'll have to face the consequences of their actions. You were never meant to be easy to break. You were never meant to bend to their cruelty, to their mockery. They thought their words could hold you down, that their laughter could keep you small. But they underestimated you. They underestimated the depth of your resilience, the strength of your will. They underestimated the fire burning deep inside of you. They didn't see the truth of your journey. They only saw the surface. They didn't see the heart that beat with determination, the soul that refused to be crushed. They didn't see how every time they pushed you down, you came back stronger. How every time they tried to drown you, you learned how to swim. They thought they could laugh at your suffering. They thought they could make you their joke. But they were wrong, because you are not the punchline. You never were. Now they will see what happens when you refuse to be broken, when you choose to rise from the ashes, when you turn your pain into power, when you take their mockery and turn it into fuel for your fire. They will watch in awe as you soar higher than they ever imagined. They will watch as you succeed. Where they thought you would fail, they will watch as you become everything they said you couldn't be, everything they said you would never be. And they will have to stand there helplessly and witness it all. Because it's their turn now. They will suffer. They will regret. They will realize too late that the cost of their cruelty is too high. The world doesn't reward the weak. It doesn't reward the ones who let others trample over them, the ones who give in to the cruelty of others. The world rewards the ones who fight back, the ones who take the pain and use it to become unstoppable, the ones who use their suffering to fuel their growth. They didn't think you had it in you. They thought you would crumble. They thought they could keep you down. They thought they could laugh at your pain without consequences, but they were wrong. They are going to learn what happens when you underestimate someone who refuses to give up, when you push someone so far that they find strength they never knew they had. They are going to see what happens when you turn your wounds into weapons, when you turn your suffering into success. They are going to see you rise while they fall. Now, they will have to deal with the consequences of their actions. They will have to face the truth of what they did to you. They will have to watch as you take everything they tried to use against you and turn it into something beautiful, something powerful, something they could never have imagined you would become. They will have to watch as you prove them wrong in ways they never thought possible. They will have to face the fact that the very pain they tried to use to break you is what's going to build you up into something unstoppable. They are going to feel the weight of their actions as they see you reach heights they thought were beyond you. They will watch as you succeed in ways they could never understand. They will watch as you rise to the top and realize that their laughter was nothing more than the sound of their own downfall. They thought their cruelty was harmless. They thought it was just words, just jokes. But they didn't know the power of a broken person who refuses to stay broken. They didn't know the strength of someone who has been pushed to the edge and refused to fall. They didn't know that pain can be transformed into power, that suffering can fuel success. They didn't know that every time they laughed at you, every time they mocked you, they were only helping you become the person you were always meant to be. They didn't realize that they were making you stronger, that they were making you unstoppable. They didn't realize that the suffering they caused you would be the very thing that would propel you forward. They didn't realize that their laughter would be the sound of their own defeat. So now it's their turn to suffer. Now it's their turn to feel the consequences of their actions. Now it's their turn to watch as you rise above them, to see you take everything they tried to use to destroy you and turn it into something powerful now. It's their turn to watch as you become everything they thought you couldn't be, everything they said you would never be. It's their turn to watch you succeed in ways they never thought possible. It's their turn to see you achieve everything they told you you couldn't. It's their turn to realize that you were never the joke. You were never the punchline. You were always the one who would rise above them all. And now, they will have to deal with the consequences of their laughter, the consequences of their cruelty, the consequences of their belief that they could break you. It's your time now, the time to show them all what happens when they mess with someone who refuses to give up the time, to show them what happens when you take your pain and turn it into power, the time to show them what happens when you rise from the ashes of your suffering and prove them wrong. At every turn, they will regret ever laughing at you. They will regret ever mocking your pain, because in the end, it is your strength, your resilience, your determination that will define you, and not their laughter, their cruelty, their mockery. They will learn the hard way that they should have never laughed at your pain, because now it's their turn to suffer. Now it's their turn to face the consequences of their actions. They will see you stand tall while they crumble. They will see you succeed while they falter. They will see you achieve everything they thought you couldn't, while they watch from the sidelines and wonder where it all went wrong. They will see you rise to the top while they remain stuck in the misery they tried to drag you into. They will see you become everything they could never be, and it will hurt them more than they ever thought possible. Because deep down, they will know that they are the ones who set you on the path to greatness. They are the ones who pushed you to become unstoppable. And now, it's their turn to feel the weight of their own actions. Now, it's their turn to suffer. They laughed, they mocked, they jeered, thinking they were untouchable. They thought their cruelty was just a passing indulgence, a momentary amusement that would have no lasting impact. They didn't realize that when you hurt someone, truly hurt them, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally, you plant a seed. That seed grows in silence, its roots weaving deep within the heart of the victim. It grows until it finds a way to emerge, to break through the surface and into the world. They thought your pain would be fleeting, just a passing moment of weakness, but they were mistaken. Your pain wasn't weakness, it was the furnace in which you were forged. Now, they'll feel what it's like to be consumed by their own cruelty. They'll feel the weight of every word they spoke, every sneer, every dismissal. Because what they didn't understand was that when you push someone far enough, when you test their limits, when you force them to the edge, they either crumble or they rise. And now, they're going to watch as you rise. You've become a force they can't contain, a storm they can't escape. The very thing they tried to bury beneath their ridicule is now the thing that's going to destroy them. For every laugh they threw your way, for every cruel comment they made, they fed a fire within you. They thought it was their superiority they were showcasing, but it was their stupidity. They didn't realize that their laughter was the spark that set your inner rage ablaze. They didn't realize that by mocking you, they were giving you the fuel to burn brighter, stronger, harder than ever before. They thought you were their joke, but now they're going to realize you were always the hero of this story. They thought you were beneath them, that your struggles made you weak, made you unworthy of respect or consideration. They couldn't see the strength in your scars, the power in your persistence. They thought their words had power over you, but they had no idea that words are just sounds, vibrations in the air. They have no substance, not unless you allow them to. And you chose not to allow their words to shape you. You chose to take their negativity, their contempt, and turn it into something else. You chose to rise from the ashes they tried to bury you under. The people who laughed at you, they thought they had already won. They thought their cruelty had broken you, that you'd never get back up. But they were wrong. They will realize the error of their ways soon enough. It's too late now. They don't get to turn back. They don't get to take back the pain they caused. They don't get to erase the damage they've done. They will feel the weight of it in ways they cannot fathom, in ways they won't be able to escape. They won't be able to run from the consequences of their actions. They will witness the full force of their ignorance, and they will see just how much they've underestimated you. In time, they'll see you rise, not just in ways that threaten them, but in ways that leave them bewildered, shocked, unable to comprehend how you did it. They will watch you succeed in places they told you you'd fail. They will see you surpass every barrier they tried to put in your way. They will look at you and wonder how it's even possible. And that's when it will hit them, the truth, the reality of what they did, the realization that they were never in control, the realization that it was always you who held the power and they were simply too blind to see it. They'll witness your strength, your resilience, your success, and it will burn them. It will eat at them, piece by piece. Because now, it's too late for them to apologize. It's too late for them to make amends. There's no going back from the damage they've caused. The bridge is burned. They can't take back their cruelty. They can't undo their mockery. And they'll watch in disbelief as you thrive, while they crumble under the weight of their own arrogance. They thought they could break you. They thought your pain was something to be trivialized, something to be laughed at. But what they failed to understand is that pain is not always a sign of weakness. Sometimes, pain is the very thing that unlocks your true potential. Pain doesn't define you. It refines you. It sharpens you, molds you into something more powerful than you ever thought possible. And now, your pain is your greatest weapon. Now, your suffering has become your strength, and they're going to see it play out before their eyes. Every time they thought they knocked you down, you only grew stronger. Every time they laughed, you used their laughter as fuel to prove them wrong. They'll try to ignore it. They'll try to convince themselves that it's just a phase, that you won't last, that you won't succeed. But deep down, they know the truth. They know that you're unstoppable. They know that you've become something they cannot defeat. They know that you will rise above them in ways they never could, in ways they can't even comprehend. And that knowledge will haunt them. They'll try to move on, try to pretend that nothing has changed. But the truth will linger. It will eat at them from the inside, because they'll know they had a chance to help you, to lift you up. But instead, they chose to tear you down. And now, they'll have to live with that decision for the rest of their lives. They'll suffer in ways they never imagined. They'll suffer in silence, watching you succeed where they failed. They'll suffer in their pride, watching you achieve the very things they thought were beyond your reach. They'll suffer in their envy, seeing you rise while they remain stuck in the same place, trapped by their own limitations. They'll suffer because deep down, they'll know they made a grave mistake, underestimating you, underestimating your strength, your resilience, your power. And by the time they realize the full weight of their actions, it will be too late. Their suffering won't be instant. It will creep up on them slowly, over time. It will start as a nagging feeling, a whisper in the back of their mind, reminding them of the cruelty they once imposed on you. It will grow stronger as they watch you rise, as they see you achieve things they could only dream of. And that's when it will truly hit them, the depth of their mistake. They'll realize that they didn't just laugh at you, they laughed at the very force that would shape the future, the very fire that would change everything. And now, they'll have to deal with the consequences. You see, they thought you were nothing. They thought your pain would break you, destroy you. They thought their mockery would keep you small, keep you in your place. But they failed to see one simple truth. You are not defined by your pain. You are not defined by your suffering. You are defined by how you rise from it, how you use it to propel yourself forward, how you take the very things meant to break you and turn them into stepping stones on your path to greatness. They laughed and they thought they were winning, but in reality, it was you who won all along. Now, they'll suffer as they realize it. They'll feel the slow, painful burn of regret as the reality of their actions finally catches up with them. In the quiet moments when the noise of their lives settles, they will hear the echo of their cruelty. It will follow them, a constant reminder of their mistake. They will replay the moments in their minds, the times they mocked you, laughed at your struggles, assumed you were weak, that you were a joke. And in that quiet, their conscience will begin to gnaw at them. They'll wonder why they did it. They'll wonder why they thought they could tear you down without consequences. And the truth will hit them. Their actions were never about you. They were always about their own insecurity, their own need to feel superior. They saw your struggles as a way to elevate themselves, to make themselves feel better. But the reality is, they were just proving their own lack of strength. As they realize this, their suffering will intensify. It won't be the kind of suffering that's obvious to the world. No, it will be internal. It will be quiet, insidious, but it will be there, growing every day. The regret will seep into their thoughts, into their actions, slowly eating away at their peace of mind. They'll look at you, and they'll see everything they said you would never be, everything they said you couldn't achieve. They'll see you winning, thriving, rising above them in ways they never imagined, and it will haunt them because they will know, deep down, that they had the power to help you. They could have lifted you up instead of dragging you down. They could have been the ones who stood by your side, supporting you, but instead, they chose to laugh. They chose to mock. They chose to feed off your pain. And now, they have to live with that choice. The truth will dawn on them in pieces. At first, they won't fully understand the weight of their actions. They'll try to justify it, tell themselves that it was just a joke, that they were just having fun. They'll convince themselves that their words weren't that harmful, that their laughter didn't truly matter. But then, the weight will grow heavier. As they see you succeed, they'll start to feel the sting of their own folly. Every achievement you reach, every step you take toward your dreams, will remind them of what they lost. They will realize that their mockery wasn't just a reflection of their own arrogance. It was a reflection of their fear. They were afraid of your potential, afraid of what you might become. And so, instead of nurturing it, they tried to crush it. As you continue to rise, they'll be left behind, stuck in the mire of their own regret. They'll watch you grow stronger, more confident, more successful with every passing day. And with each victory you claim, their shame will deepen. It will be impossible for them to ignore the truth anymore. They will be forced to confront the fact that their laughter, their scorn, their cruelty only served to make you more resilient, more determined. They'll see that they made you into something greater than they ever thought possible. And in that realization, they will feel a sense of helplessness, a sense of powerlessness that will be difficult to bear. Because deep down, they'll know that they could have been a part of your journey. They could have been your ally, your friend, but instead they chose to be your adversary. And now they must suffer the consequences of that choice. The suffering won't stop there. It will affect every aspect of their lives. They will find it harder to find peace, harder to find happiness, because the truth of their actions will follow them wherever they go. They'll try to distract themselves, to fill the empty space with superficial things, but nothing will ever be enough to drown out the regret that's eating away at them. They will see your success as a reminder of their failure, and every time they look at you, they will be reminded of what they could have had, what they could have been a part of. And that will be the true punishment, the knowledge that they let the opportunity to be part of something beautiful slip away because of their own foolishness. And as their regret deepens, so will your strength. The more they struggle with the weight of their own mistakes, the more you will grow, the more you will rise. You will take every setback, every moment of pain, and turn it into a stepping stone that carries you further than they could ever imagine. They will see you standing tall while they are still stuck in the shadows of their own past actions. And that contrast will be a constant reminder to them of how wrong they were. They will look at their own lives and compare them to yours. They will see you achieving the things they told you were impossible, and they will feel the sting of their own bitterness. They will try to comfort themselves by telling themselves that you were just lucky, that you had things handed to you. But deep down, they'll know the truth. They'll know that their own choices, their own actions, led them to where they are now, and they'll know that it's too late to change it. The damage has been done. They can't go back and undo the harm they caused. And that realization will be one of the hardest pills to swallow, because they will understand on a deep level that they are the ones who held themselves back. They are the ones who built the walls around their own success, and they are the ones who allowed fear, insecurity, and pride to keep them from seeing the greatness in front of them. Their suffering will not come from the world around them. No, it will come from within. It will come from the knowledge that they had a chance to be better, to be kinder, to be more compassionate, and they chose not to take it. They chose to laugh at your pain instead of recognizing it as the thing that would ultimately make you unstoppable. In the end, it's never about proving them wrong. It's about proving to yourself that their laughter, their mockery, their disregard for your pain was just fuel for the fire that burns within you now. They thought you'd break. They thought they could crush your spirit. But in the end, it is their turn to feel the weight of their own cruelty. While they laughed at your suffering, they failed to see that you were growing stronger with every wound. Now, it's your time. The very pain they tried to use against you is the power that will reshape everything. Their turn to suffer has arrived, and you, the one they never believed in, will rise to claim everything you deserve.